up your engine!
Well, it was bound to happen, and Porsche was the first one to do it. Porsche just completed its first endurance test of 3D printed pistons. Yes, they printed pistons in 3D machines. They used a 911 GT-RS, and they said that not only did the pistons survive, but that they matched and even exceeded comparable cast or forged pistons. Now, of course, these aren't 3D printed plastic pistons. I mean, you can print a lot of stuff with 3D, not necessarily plastic. Porsche already sells 20 different steel and alloy printed Porsche classic production parts. So, you know, they're not, this isn't the little cheapy printer you can get for $200-300 that does little plastic things. It's completely different. They're using artificial intelligence to decide how to make the piston so there's hardly any waste material. They say the only thing that they got to drill out is the hole for the wrist pin to go in to put the connecting rod on it. They also were able to integrate cooling ducts and separate twin oil jet nozzles that would be almost impossible to do with any kind of a casting setup, just the way that it's designed. They can design them more efficiently and make designs that otherwise they couldn't really build in a mass production scenario. Anything could be made custom, but eventually, of course, if they do this, it's going to be mass production. And if you're curious, and if you're nerdy, they use a high-precision TruePrint 3000 laser 3D printer. They use a proprietary aluminum alloy that's in the spool that they're melting the stuff with. It melts the metal wire with lasers, and each piston is made out of 1,200 layers of this alloy that's melted by the lasers. 1,200 layers. Takes 12 hours to print one piston. So this isn't exactly mass production. They use scanning and x-ray analysis when they're making them and after they tested them and said, hey, they held up pretty well. Well, now think about it. This isn't like you got plastic pistons in there. These are aluminum alloy specially made with lasers, so it's a pretty interesting technology. They tested them on a dyno, simulated 24 hours of high-speed driving at an average speed of 155 miles an hour. Then they ran them for 135 hours at full load, various speeds with drag loads to see how it did when they're being strained. They did a whole 200 hours of testing and said that it passed. Old Scotty here is going to say 200 hours. How about 2,000 or 20,000 hours? Real world driving. Not tested on some machine. Now, these pistons are 10% lighter, so they're going to go faster. It's kind of fascinating, though, when you think about it. They're going to the ultimate technology with these laser 3D printers, right? We'll see if they actually mass produce them. Who knows, one way or another. But they're certainly going to have to shorten the production time, because if it takes 24 hours to make a piston, that isn't going to cut the cheese when it comes to mass production of any car. Jose Silva, 12499, says, Scotty, I got a 2002 Jeep 4-liter inline 6, 200,000 miles. Sometimes it'll start, it won't crank. I push on the relays, move wires, and then it starts. What do you think it is? All right, well, those are great engines, those inline sixes. Those things could run forever. They don't make them anymore. It's probably one reason they don't make them anymore, because they'd run forever. And, you know, Fiat, Chrysler, they don't want to make cars that last forever. They want them to break, so you buy another one. They want to make them as cheap as they possibly can. But since you're having a problem with it doing nothing, and you wiggle the wires, of course, first thing you want to do is have the battery load tested. A weak battery doesn't have enough power to make it through old wires. That thing's, what, 19 years old? Everything's worn. Check all the wiring connectors, too, to make sure they're on tight. Now, if you check all the wiring and that's tight and there's no corroded parts and the battery test is being good when a mechanic load tested, odds are your starter's starting to go out. It's 19 years old. They just get weak as they age. And it could be just a coincidence that you're wiggling wires and then later it starts up. You know, if the battery passes the test, you don't see any corroded wiring connectors, I'd replace the starter, because that's the most common thing when you get a problem. Like nothing happens at all when you turn the key if the battery and the wiring's okay. Well, Mechanoid says, Scotty, in my car, the fuel filter's inside the gas tank part of the pump, so it's not an easy job. Can I clean it? Are any of the cleaners worth anything on filters? All right, very good question. Now, realize that ultimately, almost all the fuel filters are made out of some type of paper-like material. Some have a synthetic material, but they're all kind of like paper, and it keeps the junk from going further on. Now, if it is any kind of sludge or anything, stuff like Chevron Techron, you could put it in a gas tank, and if there was sludge, it'd go through. But generally, you're not going to get sludge in a modern car. The gas tanks are often made out of plastic, so there's no rust or anything. You can only clean a paper element so far. It just gets clogged up with pieces, and if they're metal pieces, nothing's going to dissolve them. So you don't really have to worry about it if you buy good gas and you got a plastic gas tank. Generally, you're not getting any crud in the tank anyways. But if you're worried about any kind, you could use Techron like once a year or once every couple of years just in case. Eventually, everything wears out. I mean, eventually as the pump wears out, little pieces of metal will go thrown in, and the filter is after the pump, so that'll throw in the filter, and eventually there'd be enough metal that would restrict the flow and the car wouldn't run right, and you'd have to change the filter. They're not really made for cleaning because they're just, they're either paper or synthetic material, and eventually they will get clogged up and you gotta replace them. Mike Carton, man, says, I like your channel. I watch your videos saying why Fiat Chrysler's quality's taking a dive. I want to tell you, FCA was offering last year a 7-year unlimited miles extended warranty, which got my new 19 Pacifica coverage for 7 years, unlimited mileage. Cost $1,500. Seems like a wise investment. I gotta laugh at that one. Okay, it's a company that's notorious for making bad products and not fixing them right under warranty. You just paid extra for a warranty. Those warranties have more holes in them than Swiss cheese. Half the time, they don't fix anything. They say, oh, that's normal, or, well, you didn't change the oil enough, or you overheated the engine. They always look for some excuse for not fixing the car right. That's just, that's just the name of the game. A warranty is through an insurance company. The insurance company decides what's covered and what isn't. Come on now. You think they're going to side on your side? You just threw $1,500 away in most cases. Now, you bought a 2019 Pacifica. Unfortunately, that's one of the worst vans they ever made. Yeah, the old Caravans are not making anymore, but they're pretty similar technology, and they have transmission problems, electronic problems, air conditioning problems as they age. But, I mean, pray that it doesn't fall apart. You said you only got 31,000 miles on it now. Just baby it, change the oil a lot, and pray you don't have to use that warranty, because if you do, you're going to be arguing probably till you're blue in the face trying to get stuff fixed for free, because they never want to fix anything for free. Or they say stuff like, well, this is covered under warranty, but to make that warranty valid, now you have to let us do all this maintenance work, because if you don't do the maintenance work, the warranty's invalid. They got all kinds of disclaimers on this stuff, and you'd need a lawyer to read that contract to see what actually goes on, because I've had that happen to so many of my customers. They say, well, they fixed this under warranty, but they charged me $1,200 to do this warranty work to keep the warranty valid, and then, it's just one scam over another. Sad but true. Watch my video on why extended warranties are a scam, and you can learn all about it. Well, it looks like Greece is trying to reclaim its bygone glory from thousands of years ago. The Greeks are promising a hypercar called Chaos. The Greek automotive engineer Spiros Panopoulos says he's going to have this ultra car, and he's going to name it Chaos. Now, this is a insane project. It's a 2-seater with a 4-liter V10, which has 20 fuel injectors, 40 valves, titanium camshafts, and in-canal valves. Twin turbochargers with carbon fiberglass and titanium, and the low tune has only 2,000 horsepower at 11,000 RPM, and the high tune has 3,000 horsepower at 12,000 RPM. And he says, oh, this isn't a racing car, this is a regular driving car. I mean, the guy's living in La La Land. I can't think of when the Greeks ever made a car to start out with something like that. Well, I guess they are thinking of the way past when Greece was the most educated place in the world and the pinnacle of civilization. To quote Panopoulos guy, Chaos is not a racing car, it's a city car, a car for every day. Yeah, an everyday car that's got 3,000 horsepower, right? They certainly took this to an extreme. I guess the guy wants to make the biggest horsepower car that somebody can buy on the street. Who knows if this thing will ever be made. He says he's going to unleash it on the public in 2021. Now, I wouldn't put money on this one, to say the least. The name Chaos, maybe say it all, it's a chaotic idea, and if they do, it'll probably be a one-off knockoff when it's not really a production car. It's just something some rich guy decided to design. Fine and dandy. Anybody that's saying they got a 3,000 horsepower car for everyday driving is living in La La Land. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.